I'm saying the Ring of Honor, which is an outstanding honor, is the right call.
Yeah.
Bravo to the Canucks for recognizing the great accomplishments that Roberto Luongo came up with.
Yeah.
But I've said it before. If they were going to retire his number, the only way I would be on side with that if it was a dual ceremony with Kirk McLean.
Yep.
You agree with me? I thought you didn't.
No, I
agree
don't.
with
No,
me.
I don't. I don't. I'm not with you on this. If you're in the Hockey
saying
Hall
yes
of Fame,
and
no,
yep
Donnie,
and all that?
if you're in the Hockey Hall of Fame, you played 8 years in this city. You got him to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. He should have his jersey retired. Okay? He should have it. Kirk McLean, God bless him, love him. There were 3 goaltenders in this city that led their teams to the Stanley Cup Finals. Richard Brodeur, Kirk McLean, and Roberto Luongo. And Luongo
What's your
is,
point?
out of those 3 goalies, there's only one in the Hockey Hall of Fame, Donnie. He's got the numbers to back it up. He should be in the Hall.
So which team is Roberto Luongo most closely associated with? What would Roberto say?
Well, Vancouver.
No. He
Vancouver.
would say the Florida Panthers, who've already retired his number. He's working for the organization.
Yeah.
He asked for a trade
Yeah.
out of Vancouver to go back to Florida.
So did Pavel Bure. Last time I checked, he's up in the rafters.
Just stop right there. Pavel's the most talented player, the most exciting player to ever play for the Vancouver Canucks.
So
His number belongs up there.
you look past the trade
It's
request.
okay.
Bure,
And
But
you
Luongo-
and you and Rick both look past my contract sucks as he wants to get out of town.
That's not his fault. That's the
fine.
GM's fault. You never blame a player for a contract. You blame the general manager.
He wanted out of town.
Yeah, well,
but hold on a second. He's still getting into the Ring of Honor. That's where he belongs. That's fine. What's wrong with that?
You're also forgetting part of the reason why he was asking to get out so hard, because it seemed like the franchise had shifted towards Corey Schneider. Mm-hmm. So I think he was a little bit like, yeah, you know what? I think my time here is done. Then I should just move on and leave the organization.
So where does he want to go? Back to where his heart. Back to where his heart is.
Where his family
the
was.
Florida
all that stuff.
Panthers. The Florida. He wants to go back to Florida. That's where his heart is. Ring of Honor is bang on. And I'm sorry, but I'll bring it up. How was Kirk McLean in the '94 playoffs versus Roberto Luongo in 2011, especially when it comes to the Stanley Cup
These
final?
guys get into halls not on one playoff series. They get in over a body of work.
Let's talk about
Body of work.
09 and 2010 against the Chicago Blackhawks. Roberto Luongo was not great in those two series.
Yep.
I'm sorry, he wasn't.
Yep.
And again, Ring of Honor, absolutely. All these great accomplishments, franchise leader in a million different categories. But look, Game 4, Game 6. Yanked both times.
Yeah, okay.
Horrible in Boston.
Game 3,
Horrible in Boston.
an 8-1 loss, was asked by Alain Vigneault if he wanted to get pulled. He turned down that request.
I'm glad you bring up the Stanley Cup final thing, because I decided to look at this last night.
8 goals in 7 games. I know what you're going to bring up.
You talk about how bad Luongo was. Oh, he's pulled. He's off.
I didn't say that. I said he was bad in those 3 games.
Okay.
He did get 2 shutouts.
So here's
You did your little research for once.
Here's the
did you?
comparison in 94 and 2011, okay? Luongo allowed 19 goals in 2011. 19 goals. Kirk McLean allowed 18 in 94.
What's your point?
Kirk McLean wasn't some amazing goaltender that let in 4 goals.
He single-handedly won Game 1 for them.
Well,
also,
he's still- the numbers are the
if I
numbers.
may, different era of hockey. It was more freewheeling, right?
Okay. Sure.
So it wasn't?
Okay, here's another stat for you.
No, hold on a sec. This is your great research. 18 goals in 7 games is not as good as
He allowed
19
18
or better
goals.
than-
He allowed 18 goals. He allowed
and
one
Roberto
fewer.
Luongo allowed
He allowed
19.
one fewer. Like,
Yeah, in a different era where people scored more
Okay.
goals. That's poor research.
okay, here, how about this then? The Canucks scored 8 goals.
You
as
worked
you
on
say.
this all night,
Canucks
too.
scored 8
Till
goals.
4 in the morning, apparently.
8 goals in 2011. The Canucks scored 8 goals. The Vancouver Canucks scored 19 goals in 94. They gave McLean way more run support.
Hey,
They allowed him to succeed way
What was
more.
the score in Game 7 in 94? What was the score in Game 7 in 2011?
Game 7 in 94 was
I'm
much
not knocking
closer.
2011.
There you are, because that's
No.
not your buddies. 94 was your buddies.
Okay.
2011, not your
Whatever.
buddies.
Yeah.
That's the root of this whole thing.
I got a question for both of you. First of all, what is the criteria for Ring of Honor?
Nobody knows.
Okay, so I dug into this. to
You
celebrate.
did research too.
I did research.
The first
till,
work the
no,
two
I
of
was
you have
up till
done
2 in the
a
morning.
long time.
Listen, to celebrate and acknowledge players who have made a lasting impact on the franchise. Don.
Yeah, Roberto Luongo, he's in.
Oh, hold it. So what's the criteria for a jersey retirement? Truly special players. If that's the case, do you think Marcus Naslund is like Burry and the Twins? I'm there 100% with you. I'm not there 100% on Naslund. I don't get it, Donnie. 100%. Who's making these decisions? Is it the owner? Because a lot of these
Ultimately, the
guys are
owner.
getting in during different ownership in different decades and different eras. So it's hard to explain, Don. So many factors. Who gets in? Who doesn't? But it is what it is. And
Well, the other thing now, though, is how much of a sore thumb does this thing stick out? You have 4 Hall of Famers in franchise history.
that's it.
3 of 4 are retired, and the 4th is not retired? The 4th is the Ring of Honor? That sticks out like a sore thumb.
Okay.
And by the way,
No, it
one of
doesn't.
those
No,
Hockey
whoa,
Hall of
whoa, whoa,
Famers...
whoa, whoa. Stop right there. The Sedins, Bure. Who are they most associated with? The Vancouver Canucks.
Sure.
Luongo, he's living down there. He's working for the
Okay.
organization.
Did Roberto
More
Luongo-
hold on. More associated with the Florida Panthers. He loves it down there.
Why did Roberto Luongo go into the Hockey Hall of Fame? First time with the Panthers, time with the Canucks?
Both.
No, but come on, Donnie. Both? No, it's not. His
His numbers
prime
were
career was
outstanding.
here in Vancouver. Come on, his honoring in
Okay, but
Florida
hold on.
only means
Forget
shows the history
forget
of the
about the
Panthers.
numbers and all that.
Forget about the numbers.
You're not for a second. You're not listening to me. Which team is he most associated with? The Florida Panthers.
Yeah, but
it's not even
he
close.
played 8 years here, Donnie.
Like,
Sure, but
8 years is 8 years. It's not 1 or 2.
Ask him. He played there. He met his wife there. He was very closely associated with the Florida Panthers, and he wanted to go back there. He loves it. That's fine. Got his jersey. So, do you think Roberto Luongo's? Do you think his career was great enough for him to have his number retired by 2 franchises?
Yeah, but again, though, I can't worry about the Panthers.
Didn't answer the question.
The Panthers are retiring his number because look at the history of the Panthers. Who have they had?
The history of the Canucks.
Who have they had in terms of stars in that franchise? Basically, Roberto Luongo, and that's it.
Well, they haven't been in the playoffs for.
That's what I mean. So just because they're
96.
retiring it, I don't care what the Panthers are doing. If I'm the Vancouver Canucks, the bottom line is you got one member of the Hall of Fame now that's not retired, and that sticks out to me.
But
that's a slap.
He's in the Ring of Honor. And again, I'm all for that. Like everybody thinks I hate Roberto. No, this is great. He belongs there. So the Ring of Honor is a big, big deal.
Yeah.
Pat Quinn's in the Ring of Honor.
Well, he belongs there.
Yes.
So does Tony Tanti.
Well, that's the subject for another day.
Tony
I might
Tanti
agree.
100% belongs there.
We got a break.
One thing we learned about this, when you talk about hate for players, we found out that you do not like Marcus Naslund.
I didn't say that. I love Naslund. He came
Oh,
over.
okay.
He did really good, but that's the one I don't understand.